Welcome back to another episode of the Think Strong pod. We are fully in the swing of things. How are you doing today?
Good, man. How are you?
Very, very well. Ready to get stuck into a slightly different episode this week. Hopefully it should be a fun one. I'm going to talk a little bit about kind of going out and raves, music events, different things that we've had a bit of experience with and how it relates to how you might manage that. With your training, with still making progress, with sports performance. I think there's some interesting stuff to talk about, as well as its impact on like younger people coming through and how it might shape people's, for lack of a better expression, personality or things they have about them that might further complement their performance of their training in the long run. But just to get things started, we've obviously both dabbled a bit in house music. We're fans of it. We still dabble now. What is the best house music event or event in general? I actually think I'd know what you're going to say when it comes to the music event in general. So give me that. Give me best music event and best house music event you've ever been to.
Whoa, best music event. As in festival or just?
Experience, live music experience.
Best DJ I've seen live, Carl Cox, hands down.
Oh yes, oh yes.
Oh yes, oh yes. He is king. Probably just because it was in the old space. Well, the only space. It's changed now, isn't it? It's called High, I think.
Yeah, Space Ibiza for clarity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was there for like closing 2015 and then again 2016 was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Probably the best 4 hours of music I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is that for both, would you say?
I mean, that place used to be ridiculous. I'm not sure what it's like now. I haven't been for a few years, but could be on the cards again soon, I reckon.
Might have to dip the toe in once again.
Yeah.
No, it's quite interesting. Like house music for our generation was probably, well, I think now as well, really quite baked into UK culture, isn't it? Everyone like enjoys a bit of house. Maybe it's a blanket statement, but everyone in like.
What did Skepta say?
I can't remember what was the quote.
He said something like, if you don't like house music, you don't like music or something like that.
Yeah, it rings a bell.
Can't remember the exact quote. One thing recently was Jamie Jones did a bit of a throwback event, didn't he? In London. Okay. It was all like 2015, 2016 kind of house music.
Yeah.
Yeah, it went off.
That would have been good. Those are the golden years.
Benediction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unreal. For transparency, my favourite event, I've kind of got two. First one, Circle Loco Rome, not so much for the music, but for like the setting, just being in like a completely different environment. And there was no, well, I say there was English people there, but there was not many at all. And to be kind of dropped in the middle of a completely different crowd was pretty cool. Just an awesome weekend, and Rome's an awesome place in general.
The Italians love a rave, don't they?
Do, yeah. They do it well as well. Apart from jumping around in the crowds a little bit too much. But, and then music-wise, another Italian, Marco Carola, I think We Are Festival. Hell of a set. How much you've
been to a few of them? We
Yeah.
are festivals. Yeah.
Yeah. Quite funny, the aftermath of those sometimes, like walking to the train station,
Yeah,
just
nightmare.
absolute debauchery. Feel like you're in a zombie apocalypse film. Like I said, quite tied into UK culture. How much of that do you think is related to rubbish weather, escaping a little bit, and maybe living for the weekend?
Yeah, I think everyone kind of goes through that phase at some point. Well, certainly our era did anyway. A bit of escapism from work, I guess.
That's kind of what
UK's not the best place to live, is it?
No, it's not. And yeah, that's kind of interesting, because that's what I was wanting to get into a little bit later, is like how younger people are potentially missing out on like some of the things that are actually beneficial from going out. Like there's a lot of social skills involved with just the whole process of being involved in socialising, going out. People are like locking in, so to speak, at such an early age. I wonder how it's gonna impact like the overall society in the long term.
Yeah, I don't know. I met so many people when I was going out,
Yeah,
like all over the UK, that I'm still like in contact with now, or mates with, or bump into here, there, and everywhere. Loads of people in the fitness industry as well.
yeah,
And I think letting your hair down is a good thing. Like, a lot of people are uptight now, aren't they? So it's like, just get out.
yeah. I think
They're locking in to, I don't know, make ground up somewhere, but you're going to get fucked by the government. You might as well go out and get fucked up.
yeah. Well, yeah, that's it's true. And like, I think there's there's this thing. I don't know if it comes from social media, but everything seems to be exaggerated. So even the people that maybe would have had their shit together a little bit more and weren't going out quite so much are like locking in. They're stopping drinking at the age of 19 or whatever, and they're saying that they're focusing on X, Y, and Z. But like you say, there's a whole lot of social skills to come from going out and meeting people. You put yourself in this situation where it's just different, and you have to adapt. And if you are going to different places, like we were traveling around to London and going out to different places in Europe, you adapt and you learn these skills just kind of by default almost, don't you? And whether you realize it or not, you do take them with you into other areas of your life, whether it's professionally. Yeah, I think it's quite interesting.
Yeah, I mean, like going abroad to a festival and just navigating your way around a new country or a new space. It's a pretty good life skill. Do you know what I mean? It's like...
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, that is like a massive positive of that, which is probably going to get left behind if things continue on the same decline. But potentially it is linked to like poor overall mental health as well. If people do take things too far and they do start living for the weekend, they do start using substances to maximize that dopamine hit on the weekend. It does become a vicious cycle.
Yeah, I think we've both been in circles or seen people that have gone down that route as well. It's hard to pull themselves out of that. Yeah, I mean, I got friends that have pulled themselves out of it and are doing well now, which is good. But they've also got good people around them that they can see that are doing like similar things that are good. Which I think if you have friends in the circle that are struggling, then you do have a job to do there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And training can be such a good tool for that, to hit that reset button and pull you out of it and realize that life is not weekend. Although it might be a slog, you know, day to day if you're not in the job you enjoy. So that's the reality for a lot of people. To pull yourself out of that vicious cycle is potentially quite hard, but training is one of those things which is going to give you that authentic dopamine, so to speak, and something that you can keep chipping away at and get satisfaction from without going and writing yourself off. Yeah,
definitely. I think a healthy balance between the two is good. The older you get, you have less of a balance, more on the training and not going outside and just dip your toe in when it feels good.
Yeah, that's right. But at the same time, like in our younger years, like we've both done a good bit of it. How beneficial do you think being able to be accustomed to feeling a bit shit could be to you? Like, I think it's really valuable to have
slog for a week after,
to have a bit of resilience that you just inherently build by getting on with life, or whether it's training or whether it's playing a sport or whatever it is, to get through when you're not necessarily feeling the best is quite valuable.
Sleep deprivation was a constant between 2015 and 2016.
Yeah.
Probably them 2 years were tough.
But you get through it, don't you?
Yeah.
And you get used to functioning in a less than optimal environment. And that kind of brings me on to my next part of my notes here. It's like, how much do you think of like life experiences like that become valuable or become almost optimal in their own right to someone who is maybe chasing performance? For example, if you've got two athletes, one that's been through a bit of a period where they've got a bit more life experience, they've done things, they've gone out, they've worked through these periods where sometimes everything's not perfect. You've got another person that's lived clean and done everything throughout their entire youth right, so to speak. But then they go through a period where everything's the same, training is exactly the same, facilities are the same, nutrition is the same for 5 years prior to that. My money's probably on the person who's overcome a bit of adversity, whether it is, it doesn't have to be from partying, it might be from having to work night shifts and go straight into training, or things of that nature. That ability to overcome adversity, no matter what it is almost quite valuable and more valuable, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you throw a spanner in the works to the person that hasn't gone through any of the adversity, their whole life's going to stop pretty much because they won't know what to do.
Yeah.
Whereas the other person will just be like, just brush it off and continue with their day.
Yeah.
Like, as is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We see it now. Like, you see clients that have had everything done for them or everything's like perfect, and they're just like the smallest thing is like the biggest spanner in the works, and you're like, it's really not that big. And you got other people that will just crack on, and they're usually the people that have been through more life experiences.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, thinking back to like personal experiences with that, I can remember like times where wasn't necessarily feeling the best for whatever reason going into like training for rugby, and then like something will happen, and like you're forced to maintain standards one way or another, whether it's through the team, and you end up almost transcending like however you were feeling, whether it's good, whether it's bad, whether it's whatever. As a whole team, you transcend it and start to realize that people underestimate like the fact that if you're legitimately good or proficient at something, that should take the priority, and like you can have a bit of confidence in that, but also like to have a bit of resilience and to just be ready to tackle what's in front of you rather than crumbling at the first imperfection.
And I think like when you're going out, you're surrounded by people that are all in the same boat, right? Yeah. So then when you go back to whatever day you have, that they're going through the same day, so you're always on like that same page with them, and you kind of build friendships within that, through your through the depths of your hangovers or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely, no. And I think like when you look at performance, a good example of these people that are willing to push things super hard for a long period of time from like a training and recovery and nutrition standpoint, and then go to the other end of the spectrum with like partying and letting loose, is probably fighters, UFC fighters. Like, they're wild by nature. They're probably wild for the very reason that they're good at MMA. But you see those guys, they get themselves to absolute like supreme condition, and then do the opposite for a little while, and it's quite good to realize that it's not the be all and end all if you have a few beers maybe.
Yeah, I think they get themselves in ridiculous shape, don't they?
Yeah,
for a couple of minutes of battering people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and then go and cut a load of weight and end up like walking skeletons. But it's more resilience, isn't it? It's more things that challenge you in that way, and I think there's so many things that have got to fall in place for something to be perfect in no matter what sport you're actually you're training for or you're competing in. To be able to go and put out a performance in things or a scenario that's imperfect is such a valuable tool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Like those athletes are like locking in, so to speak, for like that certain time frame, and then letting loose. But you've got other people that will never reach that level. They're just locking in. I don't know. I always just live by like you're gonna die. It's like I always think that to myself sometimes when I'm making a decision, like do I want to go to this event? Do I want to go to that? And I'm just like, you're gonna die. So just fucking go, have a good time, and then it's not setting you back that far.
Yeah, exactly that.
Different with your situation, like you want to be a professional footballer and you got the ability to go there, then yeah, maybe. But even like look at people like Jack Grealish at the top level, like all season he's on it, playing well. Someone just like lets his hair down. People will still like have a dig at him, won't they? Like, he's had a few beers. Da, da, da. At the end of the day, he's a human being. He's just fucking better at playing football than everyone else. That's why he's at the top level.
I think when people are trying to almost imitate like the life of an athlete, which is what a lot of us do really when we're training hard when it's not our job, which is completely fair enough. A lot of people do that. We almost get whipped up into thinking that we need to be paying attention to the criticisms that other people are getting, even when those top athletes are probably not paying attention to them, as well as not being so aligned with your goals that your entire like integrity as a person like crumbles when you don't like achieve something in the short term. It's like quite a mature mindset to have, but it's something that probably we've been through the ringer of in like our first sporting endeavour, football and rugby, is that things aren't always going to go to plan. You're not going to get to where you want to be as quickly as where you want to be. So sometimes understanding that's part of the process and not falling off as a result of that is like the most mature, the best possible thought process or mindset you can have after that to keep moving forwards, rather than getting frustrated because you want to show that you care.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I think, yeah, that's great. I think one thing that me and you are really good at now is, or like in the friendship group, is be like, if you're the person that doesn't want to drink or go out, then make that decision, and the other people in your group will respect that. Like me and you do that quite a lot. You're like, nah, I've got this competition coming up or whatever, but like just don't be a dick about it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like if that person doesn't want to go out because they got something coming up, then respect that. But then the other way around, it's like if they're just being a bit of a wet flannel, then get tucked into them a little bit.
Yeah.
I think when I was younger, my mates would be like, oh, come on, just go out or whatever, get stuck in. But they're quite respectful in the same way. It's like if you said, no, I don't want to go out, then they would respect that decision.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you're a bad person. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, I think nowadays kids are just not going out as much, are they?
No, that's right. And I've actually got a few stats here which might be interesting to relate things back to. So survey in 2025, Nighttime Industries Association, 2,000 respondents, so relatively big like test group of people aged between 18 and 30. 61% reported going out less frequently in the past year. Only 16% said they go out more after 10 p.m. Like, when you think back to probably what we got up to, like for me, as soon as I turned 18, maybe a little bit before, I was like just doing everything. Not to a point where it was like detrimental, but I was just so like like a deer in the headlights with like things that you are now allowed to do. At every opportunity I was getting out, I was playing rugby all around Europe, doing all of the festivals that I could, and like getting relatively smashed afterwards as well, and picking up the pieces for the week. But that was kind of such a different mindset to what it sounds like the direction is of things at the moment.
Yeah, I don't know what other factors play into that. Like, it's more expensive to go out maybe, and different stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does seem like things are changing a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And one of the next stats is a separate operator, Recom UK, found that a third of respondents said that they were going on fewer nights out, citing cost of living, rent, etc. as a reason why. So, you know, it's not all just people's opinions. Obviously, they are sometimes forced into it as well.
I think the stats on festival attendances in an isolated setting have been going up.
Yeah.
But at the same time, on the flip side, there's like the wellness travel, something about like the amount of, so people like just going away to train, like recover and do all the ice bath, sauna and all that stuff. That has gone up like so much as well. People that are chasing like the 1% in that as well. So I think it's, people are putting their time and effort into like more isolated settings. Do you know what I mean? Like maybe saving their money to go to like one festival and having like a full send, or on the flip side, spending all their money into like a wellness wellness travel that's on the rise.
Yeah, maybe an element of it is just awareness as well. It's like the people that maybe were like a little bit on the fence about going to the pub and knocking back six pints or whatever, are then being shown there's like, oh, there's an option where I can go and, you know, put my time and effort into something which might be a little bit more aligned with what I want to do. Maybe they want to do it just because it's a bit more fashionable at the moment as well. Either way, there's the awareness of things which are actually happening, which is something that we probably can't discredit either, because social media's had such a massive impact on everything for everyone. Like myself and you, we both make money from social media too. So,
I mean, like when we were growing up, we didn't really have that, did we?
No, you didn't even know like what's going on in the next town. Like,
yeah, that's what I mean. Like when I don't know, when I started going out, I don't know. I think Instagram had just started. I might be wrong, but 2014?
Sounds about right, yeah.
2015, maybe?
Yeah.
Before that, I didn't even know what the fuck is social media.
I thought it was a photography app
to
start with. It probably was.
And it wasn't really a thing. Like, no one was making money from it then.
No.
So that's also very different. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. There seems to be an uprising of like men's fashion, staying in, locking in, whatever it might be, doing half marathons, going to a run club.
It's almost like every subcategory or every like small personality trait someone has, there's an option for you to lean into it, no matter what it is, just by the algorithm, by this phone looking at your facial expressions as you're coming across these different reels. And like you said, men's fashion and all this stuff, like, probably wasn't even something that, unless you were really into it, you would never have even had that exposure. So it's no wonder why we've all got ADHD now.
Yeah. I mean, everyone just did similar, like we all did similar stuff, right?
Yeah.
And now everyone's so different in their individual preferences, I guess.
Yeah, people were more willing to go with the herd of like the local herd, the people in your immediate circle. But now it's like, oh, I feel like I belong, even if it's to a group of people that wear bandanas on their heads.
It's funny because like all of us are a similar age here, aren't we? And we just all club together and do the same stuff.
Yeah, it's quite funny. Yeah,
training, chill, beach, go to the pub when we all want a beer.
Yeah.
But we're all from that similar like generation or age.
Yeah. I will state that I am the youngest, so we'll keep that going. But we're definitely from probably the last age group which remembers both like life without social media and then the kind of introduction to it. So best of both worlds, but also maybe worst of both worlds as well.
Yeah.
Which is cool. So yeah, it's hard to quantify, isn't it? Like when we talk about going out and its benefits, getting yourself into strange, dangerous, weird, funny situations. But I think there is definitely some there. But like we said, it's down to trends a lot of the time. But continuing on the theme of trends, obviously Hyrox is kind of the biggest trend, I would say, in the space at the moment. I'm a CrossFitter and I would love for it to still be CrossFit, but that's not the reality at the moment. What's next, do you think?
I'm not sure, like I think I did the first Hyrox in London 2021, I think, with a few of my old colleagues from an old gym. We did like the team relay. So we were like, what the hell is this? Let's go and check it out. It wasn't busy. I remember we had to do, in the relay, you do like two parts, like 2 runs, 2 stations. And I just went in my Metcons. So I was just like...
Functional
fitness. Turned up, everyone was wearing fucking running trainers.
Carbon plates.
Yeah. So yeah, that wasn't very nice, but luckily it was only two runs. But yeah, even after that, I was a bit like, just don't really know what this is about. It was like not that busy. And then it just like boomed and went massive. Good for Gen Pop just to get involved in. Ironmans are big, aren't they, at the minute?
Well, that's the thing. That's what I've got written down here. And in longer endurance events in general seem to be on the up. And whether that's tied into running, which is maybe piggybacked off Hyrox, because that's obviously really popular at the moment.
I don't know if it's a decline in mental health.
A decline in mental health?
That that's bringing on like people just trying to do really hard stuff, or so
That's
to speak.
interesting. Yeah, like the pendulum swinging backwards harder in the other direction.
Yeah, like, are they just digging themselves into a bigger hole by adding extreme training stress onto their already shit life, like in their own perspective? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if you're already in a bad mindset, adding on like running, cycling, and swimming volume on top of your already stressful life is probably not a good thing.
It's a tough one, isn't it? Because there's probably an element of satisfaction that comes along the way.
Yeah.
But me and you both know that, like, once you get deep into the weeds of chasing performance, like, that eases off, and like then the discipline to carry on and everything mounts up.
Because they're starting the process of doing the triathlon with the Ironman with the end goal in mind, without like falling in love with the process, so to speak. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot that you have to do to get to that goal, and obviously we know that getting the dopamine hit is like going past your already like neutral boundary to push further. That creates the other chemical. I always forget the name of it.
Serotonin.
I think there's another one, something, that then you get the massive dopamine hit or whatever after, because it's like pushing past the boundary of you accomplishing something new.
Yeah.
But they're already after that, but they're not really ready to settle into the other area of like the process of getting there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. The whole like Ironman, half marathon thing is really like on the rise the last couple of years. I think that's off the back of the running stuff as well in lockdown. Other functional fitness events that have some like weird and funky movements in. You got Deca.
Yeah.
Spartan racing.
Yeah.
Don't really know what's next.
That's the thing. I think, yeah, I've noticed that there's a bit of an uptake in triathlons, like you said. I don't know if the barrier to entry is maybe a little bit higher for the everyday person, that maybe that's just going to constrain it a little bit from really blowing up the same way I think running and high rocks has.
I think the price of high rocks is going to be a big barrier to entry soon.
That's the other thing. People are traveling countries to be able to get a high rocks ticket, which makes for a good weekend, but that's going to push people out as well, isn't it?
Yeah. I think they call it like the sport for everyone, but if you don't have 150 quid or dollars or whatever, I think it's like $200 in Oz to do the race.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a sport for everyone, is it?
No, not necessarily.
Like, people's like disposable income isn't as high as it used to be at the minute. So I think they've got to be very careful where they tread the line.
Yeah, and how long before people get bored of it? I mean, it's the same race. It's still the same race, like, 3-4 years on from when it started?
Yeah.
Are they going to have to create some sort of diversification within it to make it more interesting? I don't know.
What do you think is next?
Well, that's the thing. I think where we need to look is almost where the content's going. Where's the marketing going? Because that seems to be like one of the biggest drivers for things. Because when people step away from the events and then they go and decide what they want to do in their preparation and stuff, the phone and the algorithm is the thing that remains constant between that, and that's feeding you with like ideas, inspiration, motivation, all of these different things, which is going to sorry, someone walked in on us. Feeding us with all of these different things, which is going to continue to push us towards that goal. So we can't underestimate like the importance of that, I don't think. Obviously, was it Will Gouge is the
runner? The runner,
obviously massive social media presence, and a lot of people were bought into that. Maybe something similar with another, whether it's challenge or race.
Russ Cook.
Yeah.
Hardest geezer.
Yeah, very true.
As well.
Yeah. And Ross Finley, for example. I know these are guys that are doing very individual kind of niche things, but maybe there's overspill into other people. Like maybe they will then go and find a open water swim to do, for example.
Yeah, I think Ross Edgley was kind of the pioneer, wasn't he,
Some of the things he does are crazy.
He's probably one of the first books I read, and I was like looked at more like the training adaptation thing. Like I think he wrote him. I think it was his first book. It was just like he was just talking about like training adaptation. He was like, you can literally adapt your body to like any stimulus you want if you like just like tunnel vision go into it. I remember reading it thinking like, it's fucking cool what he was doing.
Yeah.
And he's just like walking and running with a log on his back just for like miles and miles.
He is the epitome of what you'd call a hybrid athlete.
Yeah.
And his ability to change his body, like body composition towards what he wants to do is unbelievable as well. And his commitment to doing that. Like a lot of people know the theory and they know the process, but their willingness to commit as deep as he does, like, is not always there. You know, he gets fat to go swimming in like Arctic seas and stuff. And a lot of people would say like, yeah, that's what you need to do. But how many people are willing to do that, let alone the physical challenge within itself? And that's a good point. Like, I've read or listened to his book as well, and like some of the points he brings up are awesome. One of the things that stuck with me was like, I can't remember the exact expression he used, but he was talking about stoicism in that sense. But he's come up with like an expression. I don't know if you remember it. Something stoicism. What it is?
I can't remember. No.
But it's relating to his physical challenges and how he always draws upon that. And it's like being willing to be calm and allow things just to happen to you, and you have basically no reaction, and these things don't affect you emotionally. They just come and go. Things happen, and you just keep going with the task at hand. And such an impressive thing to have that awareness of your own mind in such extreme conditions.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I mean, he was great. His books are good as well.
Yeah.
What do you think about like the in-between space between CrossFit and High Rocks, which is more like turf games, kind of that? Because really, there's only turf. There's not. Can you think of like another competition that's similar to that? That's like not CrossFit or labelled as.
There's ones that have kind of fallen from the same tree, which are just not as popular. There's one called NFG, which I don't know if it's still happening.
I think they've tinned that.
They
joined
similar.
with. That's Affex now, basically.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So that's another one that's kind of in that in-between space.
Yeah, I'd say that's almost a lower rung on the ladder when it comes to getting to CrossFit, even compared to turf games, because
the skill element.
Yeah, the skill element is like there's no rope climbs. It's like strict pull-ups and stuff. Nothing wrong with that, but yeah, that's just that small step away. And I think there's one called maybe WOD 3D, and I think again that might be an extension of like maybe the March On brand and things like that too, which I think it might be in the Middle East only, in Dubai, like attached to the Dubai Sevens. I've seen it. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it develops, because there is still an element of skill there. It's like barbell, rope climbs, toes to bar, I think are probably the highest skill
turf,
movements
yeah.
in turf games, and they need specific training if you want to be half decent at that. And you know that means people have to put their time into it, and the only accessible thing that's around to be able to improve those skills, all of them, is CrossFit a lot of the time, unless you're doing training on your own. Yeah. So although they are different for competing, it still, I think, pushes your training one way or the other.
It's quite interesting with when you look at the standard of turf games in England and turf games in Australia. CrossFit's, I don't know if CrossFit is a bit bigger in Oz. I think what it is people hold themselves to a higher standard of movement quality in Australia,
right,
than they do in England.
Yeah.
Just like from an outsider's point of view, looking in at like the videos that you see, whenever it's like a lift event in Oz, the weightlifting is a lot better. Like the gymnastics are better, people's movement quality is better. But I don't think it's from a coaching standpoint of what they've received. I think it's from them setting themselves to or holding themselves to a higher standard. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah, I have noticed that a little bit. I wondered whether it was just because that base level of athleticism was maybe a little bit higher, sports in Oz are just so common, aren't they?
I think
Everyone's
that's
playing sports
huge
from such
thing.
a young age. If you don't, you're, again, like we were saying before, if you don't, you're weird in that perspective. Rugby, football, athletics, swimming, surfing, just people are so active.
I think girls are a lot more that way inclined in Oz, aren't they?
Yeah.
Remember all the girls I went to school with, like, oh no, I've forgot my PE kit.
Yeah.
Like pretty much every PE class.
Yeah.
There was like obviously the odd few that wanted to do it, but yeah, I think in Oz, like everyone's just all in, aren't they?
Yeah. It's again, probably reinforced by the environment, and everyone builds that culture just by being an active part in it, which is interesting. But yeah, kind of going back to what we think is going to be next. I think what has a massive untapped potential is weightlifting still. Actual competitive side of weightlifting, it's only really brought to somewhat mainstream or to more eyes through CrossFit and turf games, things like that at the moment. The more traditional side of Olympic weightlifting is literally at competitions where people are hitting 3 lifts of the snatch and the clean and jerk, and it's very formal, very old school, very like almost static in a way. It's very exciting for people that are into it, but the potential it has is huge. I don't know what you thought about that.
I mean, just like seeing how many people are getting involved with that where I work is nuts.
Yeah.
Over the last like 2 years, I think the first year, me and you used to jump into the class, and it wasn't like overly busy, was it? It's like between 12 and 15 people probably every week, and now it's like, I think for the last few months it's been 25 to 30 people like every class, twice a week, which is awesome. But yeah, it's more of like that chasing performance side of things, isn't it? The satisfaction of like getting a little bit better every week. Like, yeah, it's similar to High Rocks in terms of like, it's the same thing every time, but people enjoy it because they're getting better at it, like, or they can see the progress like every single time.
Yeah.
And I think that's what people love.
Yeah, I think so. I think people are coming around to the fact that you don't just need to be able to do something straight off the bat. If you like chip away at it and gradually get better at it, that's where the satisfaction is going to come from. I mean, you still see it in the gym, don't you? You see people come in, try to do weightlifting class, get frustrated and just walk off. They're like, oh, I can't do that. Like, how do you hold that bar above your head? Like, my shoulders don't do that. It's like, yeah, like mine didn't when I started. It's about accepting you're going to be shit when you start and chipping away week on week, session on session to actually get somewhere. I don't know if you've seen Rad Global, the shoe company, have released an online competition called Ting Slingers.
Haven't seen it yet, no.
And they've kind of dubbed it as an underground weightlifting league. So it's an online competition. I think there might even be an element of like fatigue to the weightlifting as well, and then like heavy complexes and heavy barbells. So still very much.
They did a similar one recently, didn't they?
I've
Was it
not
a
seen it.
gymnastics one, maybe?
Maybe.
I think so, yeah.
This is the only one I've seen, yeah. But so yeah, maybe weightlifting in a slightly more exciting way. And I was thinking about like what I said about the content and things like that, and how Red Bull have championed so many like extreme sports, which you probably wouldn't see like had it not been for those pushing it with their branding and stuff. So I wonder if weightlifting needs a backing of someone even like Rad, if they're willing to do it, to push it to the masses and to potentially capitalize on it from both perspectives. But yeah, when I think about Red Bull, there's like cliff diving, hard enduro, downhill mountain biking. Like the list goes on of all of these different sports, which you wouldn't even come across if Red Bull hadn't kind of steered the ship with it.
It's weird because they were talking about, there was like talk of them taking weightlifting out of the Olympics, weren't there?
Yeah.
It's Olympic weightlifting. Yeah, I'm not sure. There's a little bit more of that woke nonsense going on there with the Olympics. There's talk of High Rocks being in the Olympics.
That would be interesting.
I think they've put a bid.
Around the 400-metre track.
It would be interesting, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Running across the pole vault track and to get in the rock zone.
Yeah, like a steeplechase as part of their 1K splits.
But yeah, a bit better than breakdancing anyway.
Yeah,
that was in there.
Better than the Australian breakdancers.
Oh, we might get in trouble for that.
It's only 50% of the listenership. Right, that pretty much brings us to the end. Once again, thanks for listening. Thanks for joining us. If you can, like, share, comment, do all that stuff. That would be very much appreciated. Any closing words?
Go out with your mates.
Yeah.
To a rave, sink pints. Enjoy the hangover. Still go to work. Still train. And we'll see you on the flip side.